Picture this. It's a scorcher of a summer afternoon right here in San Diego, right? You walk into your kitchen, grab a glass for some ice water, and instead of seeing that nice steady temperature reading on your Samsung fridge, you're staring at these weird flashing letters and numbers. Instantly, the panic sets in. You're thinking about the hundreds of dollars of groceries melting inside, literally stressing over those expensive California avocados going bad, and wondering, no way, do I need to buy a whole new fridge? Well, hey, take a deep breath. You are in the exact right place. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to translate those cryptic, blinking codes into plain English. Let's just dive right into this practical, no-fluff guide, which is based directly on field data from real San Diego technicians, and get your kitchen back up and running.
We're taking a triage approach today, so here's our quick roadmap. First, decoding codes. Then, demo mode, glitches and resets. Frost and fans, ice maker codes, and finally, when to call a pro.
Okay, Section 1. Decoding Samsung fridge codes, or what those random letters actually mean.
So when your Samsung refrigerator detects an issue, it actually replaces your normal temperature reading with a specific error code. It's trying to point you directly to the struggling part. Usually it's a number identifying the system, followed by an E or C to flag it as an error. Now I know you might be tempted to just Google that code and blindly trust the first result that pops up, but wait. There's a massive catch here. The exact code maps actually change across different generations of models. A code 22 on one line might mean a fridge fan issue, while on another series entirely, it means something completely different. So before you do anything else, you absolutely need to find your exact model number. Just open up the fridge compartment and look for a sticker along the interior sidewall, or sometimes it's down near the crisper drawers. That number is basically your golden ticket to pulling the exact fault chart for your specific unit.
Moving right along to Section 2, Demo Mode, aka the fake error.
Okay, if your display is flashing OFF or maybe OFF, you are actually looking at demo mode. Some people call it cooling off or showroom mode. This setting is designed purely for appliance stores. It's just there so the floor models light up beautifully when you open the doors, but it keeps the compressor completely turned off to save energy. So let me reassure you right now, if you see this and your fridge isn't cold, absolutely nothing is broken. You're in the clear.
To fix this, you don't need a wrench. You literally just need 8 seconds. You just have to force a reset by pressing and holding the correct 2 buttons on your display simultaneously for about 8 seconds until you hear a chime. Now, the exact button combo does vary by model. It's often power, freeze, and power cool pressed together, or maybe energy saver and freezer. So just check your manual for the exact pair, hold them down for those 8 seconds, wait for the chime, and boom, your compressor is going to kick right back on.
All right, Section 3, glitches and power resets. Let's fix those display bugs. Living here in San Diego, we are definitely no strangers to summer grid strains and sudden power blips, especially when everyone's AC is just running at full blast. Well, these power fluctuations can really scramble your fridge's onboard computers. If you see literally all the display segments lighting up at once, which looks like 8888, that's typically just a temporary display glitch caused by a power surge. It's essentially a frozen screen. Another common one is PCER, which simply means the front panel isn't communicating properly with the main control board around back. So again, before you panic and assume you need a super expensive new control board, you really should attempt a simple power cycle.
Try a hard reboot. These 3 simple steps act exactly like restarting your smartphone when it acts up. First, unplug the fridge entirely, or, if you can't reach the plug, just go flip the circuit breaker. Step 2, wait a solid 2 to 5 minutes. This is crucial so the control board fully discharges its stored energy. Then, step 3, just restore power. In so many cases, this completely clears those transient codes without you having to touch a single tool. It's literally that easy. Next up, Section 4, Frost, Fans, and Defrosts. These are your 20 series error codes.
So when San Diego repair techs roll out to a house, these are the hardware codes they see the most. The common thread behind all of these 20 series codes, whether it's a 21E for the freezer fan or a 22E for the fridge evaporator fan, is almost always frost. You see, Samsung refrigerators can sometimes really struggle with ice building up on the evaporator coils hidden behind the back interior panel. When that ice grows too thick, it actually creeps right into the fan blade, jams the motor, and triggers the fan code. And if you happen to see a 24E or 25E, that means the automated system that is supposed to melt that frost on a schedule is failing, basically allowing the ice to just take over. If you're seeing these fan codes, your absolute best DIY defense is what we call the 24-hour rule. You need to completely empty the fridge, move all your perishables to a cooler, unplug the unit, and leave the doors wide open for a full 24 hours. You are doing a full manual defrost to naturally melt that invisible ice jam hidden deep inside the panels. Once everything is totally melted, plug it back in. Honestly, if it was just a one-time frost buildup, your fridge might run perfectly again right off the bat.
Moving on to Section 5, Ice Maker Error Codes. Let's talk about those 30 and 40 series errors.
Let's shift our focus for a second to a famously known weak point, especially in those popular French door models, the ice makers. Grouping these 30 and 40 series codes together, you really need to keep in mind that 39E is by far the most frequent offender you're going to encounter. It signals a general ice maker function error, usually pointing to the motor, the sensor, or the wiring. The 40 series codes, on the other hand, usually mean frost has jammed the ice room fan, very much like the main cooling fans we just talked about. Oh, and 33E? That means the little heater that prevents your water fill tube from freezing shut has actually failed.
Now, if you see that super common 39E code, please don't immediately assume the entire ice maker assembly is completely dead. There is absolutely still hope here for a quick fix. You'll want to force a manual reset first. Pull out the ice bucket, find the small test button, it's usually on the side of the actual ice maker unit, and press it. You should hear a chime or see it start a rotation. Then, the hardest part? Just wait. Give it a full 24-hour cycle to see if ice production returns before you decide to call for service.
And finally, Section 6, when to call a pro for those hard hardware failures.
The dividing line in appliance repair basically comes down to this one idea. A temporary glitch is exactly that, temporary. It clears permanently after a 5-minute power reset or that 24-hour manual defrost we talked about. But a hard part failure, those are stubborn. The error code will either come right back the exact second you plug the fridge in, or the frost is going to rebuild incredibly quickly and the code will return within just a few days.
So, you really want to pay attention to what happens after your DIY attempts. If a 20 series fan code returns a few days after you manually melted all the ice, it definitely means your defrost sensor or heater is physically broken and unable to manage the frost. If that 39E code comes back after you forced a test cycle, yeah, the ice maker assembly itself has likely failed. And if PC, ER, or 8088 flat out refuses to disappear after a power cycle, your main control board is basically crying out for help. If any of these sound like your situation, a physical component needs testing with a multimeter and ultimately replacing.
When it crosses over into needing actual parts and electrical testing, that is exactly when you can breathe easy and just call a local expert. The folks at Repair Pro San Diego specifically carry these exact Samsung parts. We're talking everything from evaporator fan motors to full ice maker assemblies, right there on their trucks. Because they're local, serving everywhere from Chula Vista all the way up to Carlsbad and Oceanside, they can often get out to your house for a same-day flat-rate diagnostic and just fix the issue on the very first visit, which honestly is exactly what you need to keep those groceries from spoiling.
Having walked through this entire triage process with us, take a good look at your fridge right now and ask yourself, did the power reset actually hold? Did that 24-hour manual defrost clear out the ice jam? Or is it simply time to stop stressing, put down the tools, and call in a San Diego expert? Armed with what you learned today, you now know exactly what that blinking display is trying to tell you. Modern appliances are basically giant, complicated computers that just happen to keep our food cold, which really begs the question, as our homes get smarter and smarter, are we losing the ability to fix them ourselves, or are we just learning a brand new language to understand them?